So give yourselves a woo. Woo! Oh, y'all are good. But you gotta get the hands going too. So, okay, will you do it again? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Woo! Okay, we're back. Hello, everybody. So I have to say, it was so fun, even though I'm wondering if our viewers are tired of seeing that. It's been going on now, for a month or so. But every time I see it, I love seeing the audience doing the woo together. And it's so fun. And in live situations, and Lisa knows this for sure, and Dr. Laura, I'm not sure. When I was in Kansas City, did we do the woo?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Because usually everywhere I go, I do it. So, but it's so fun when you're live and in person to have everybody doing that, and the energy just goes up a notch. So it's pretty cool. So if you're down and your energy isn't up this morning, just do a few woos and you'll be feeling better for sure. So welcome everybody. We are so glad that you are here. And as you see, the streamer at the bottom tells you about the granting permission. I thought we'd try that today because still last week, several people tried to get on for their name to show, but it didn't show. But you have to go to streamyard.com/Facebook, and it gives them permission to put your name up on a screen. So I know it's kind of strange. Who do we have with us this morning? And I know, Kathy, isn't this something? A full screen of 4 of us this morning. Like, woohoo! I love that. So, Kathleen, welcome. How are you this morning?
Thank you. I'm doing great, Delinda. I'm excited to be here, and I've seen your show before, and so I'm excited to be a guest and looking forward to our conversation today.
Oh, good. Cool. And how about you ladies? How is Kansas City, Dr. Laura?
You know, I woke up to the fog, so that tells me it's getting a little bit cooler, which I don't, it doesn't bother me. Actually, it's great.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you're a cold weather gal. We know Kathy is not so much, but that's that indication that the season's getting ready to change, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And since I'm still working outside, it'll be that much nicer.
Oh, awesome. And how about you, Lisa? How are you doing this morning?
Good. Already got up and fed my bugs to my chickens.
Fed your what? Your little chickies?
I said I already fed my bugs to my chickens.
Oh, bugs to your chicken. It's like, oh, I'm not sure I would like that part of the chickens. Oh my gosh, crazy. So anyway, it's actually a pretty nice morning here in Las Vegas. It's going to be another hot day, but the mornings aren't too bad. You can tell just the slight change of things, the season starting to change, just a slight coolness or something in the air. You can kind of tell that difference. So yeah, Kathleen, you've done a major shift in this last week, you were telling me, because last time we talked, and I think, Kathleen, you might have been one of the first one-on-ones I did when I joined HMP. So I think in about my first month. So I think we talked maybe as early as January or February.
Yes, it was early in the year. I didn't realize it was one of your first, but I remember our conversation well. So yeah, it was great. And did you want me to talk about my?
Yeah. So when we talked, you were in Texas, right?
Yes.
And where are you today?
I actually moved back to Syracuse, New York, which is where I grew up. I lived here for about 30 years, and then I lived in Texas about 10. So just made that transition last week and have been getting settled and unpacked and everything. So definitely, you talk about weather change and shift. So, but in Syracuse, actually, we had when I was unloading the U-Haul, it was 90 degrees here. So that's rare, but yeah. So lots of changes here. It's kind of rainy right now, as opposed to my Texas sun, but
big change. And as you go into winter, it'll be a big change.
Absolutely. Lots of snow here. It's, definitely very different. But like I said, I grew up with that. I kind of actually missed the white Christmas and things like that. And, I mentioned to you, I wasn't really sure. It was kind of something I've been thinking about for a long time. And then all of a sudden, I just felt like it was the right move. And but when I thought about it, on my vision board for this year, I had put change of season and had pictures of the winter and fall and things like that. And so that was something that I was missing. And so now I just caught the end of summer, and it'll be changing. You know, I get to see all the leaves change. And then, as you mentioned, lots of snow here. So
Well, probably a perfect time to move with fall coming, because I know up on the whole East Coast it is beautiful up there.
absolutely, it is beautiful. And a lot of times, like if I say New York, people think of the city. It's so far from the city. It's about I think it's like 5 or 6 hours from the city. I haven't even been to New York City that many times, like maybe 3. There's a lot of land. There's different places. You know, I grew up going camping in the Adirondacks. There's lots of waterfalls, different things around. You know, that's just so beautiful. So it's not just lights and city that people think of. You know, when they hear just New York. So.
Oh, that's cool. So you have family there. So you have brothers, sisters.
Well, I have a big family. Not all my family is here, but my parents are here. And so I wanted to be close to them. But I've actually gotten to see 2 of my sisters already. I have sisters in Maryland, my brothers in Chicago, different family all over. So like I said, I have a big family, but I can definitely see more of them as I'm here. So.
Yeah, get you a little bit closer. At least you're up on the same side of the country, right?
Absolutely. Oh, I see a comment. Mara said her son went to Syracuse and she went to Ithaca. So really cool.
Yeah, that is. Hey, Mara, good morning. Nice to have you here. I just love it when I see that you're on. And Grace, good morning as well. And Kathy, yeah, so that is great. Well, anything, Lisa or Dr. Laura, before we get into our word of the week, anything you want to say to everybody this morning?
Well, I was going to comment on Kathleen where she lives. She's in the snow belt, and I've got a bunch of friends that live up there. So yeah, you know exactly what you're in for. But it's neat, you know, the change of the seasons. I've often thought about moving further south, but I need my snow at Christmas time. I just need my snow.
I understand that. Like I was saying, that I never felt, I always put up my tree and did all that, but it just never felt the same. So I am looking forward to that for sure.
Awesome.
Funny about that, though, there have been times that I've been in Kansas City for Christmas and we did not have snow as it was supposed to happen. You know, go back to Kansas City, I think, oh, we're going to have a white Christmas and all that. It's like, no, it knows when it wants to. So what about you, Lisa?
Am I looking forward to snow? Sure.
No, not at all. No, just anything that you wanted to fill in this morning, or just anything to start. I don't know. Start us off.
No, I'm just really interested in getting to know more about Kathleen and about her word and digging in on that.
All right, perfect. All right, so Kathleen, tell us your word. So as y'all remember, our guest always gets to pick the word. So I love that because like, okay. And so what did you pick and why?
Well, my word is mastery. As soon as you said, I get to pick it, that was the word that came to me. I actually, hopefully I won't knock this over, but I want to show you. I keep this on my desk. It's got the word mastery.
Oh, cool.
And so I keep that there. And why, I guess, it's just, to me, it is very important. I connected with it a long time ago when I read the book Mastery by George Leonard. And I have the book here. As you can see, I've got lots of Post-its there as well. So it's something I've read multiple times. And I just think, for my work, I work with women and help them to find their gifts and use them, so that they can help others. And I think it's really important to have something that you're really good at and that you do master. And I believe we each have different gifts, unique gifts that we're given and that we're meant to use. And so I think it's really important to start to master those gifts instead of, we're learning beings, right? We're going to learn all the time and we can learn new skills, but there's some things that we're just born with. And I believe that we're meant to develop those. And so I guess to me, that was just really important as far as, my work and what I do with women. but also how I learn personally. I'm a little bit slower. I've always been slow. The last one done in my classes when I was younger, and things like that. And I look at things different though. And when someone actually had read a piece from this book to me, and I connected so much with it because I realized that, my slow process of how I was learning was that I was trying to learn from different angles and really master what it was that I was learning. And so I really connected with that, and it helped me in my adulthood to, not look at it as like, oh, I'm, slow or behind, but that, I was really getting the knowledge from different angles and mastering the skill that I was learning. And so I just have always connected with it since then.
Wow, that is awesome. And I think you're right that, I don't think, I know you're right. Women we all have different gifts and different talents, and God's wired us all a little bit differently. And that, and Bill and I just had this discussion the other night because I either heard it on something and it clicked again. Is the fact that so often we waste so much. Oh, I knew it was Dean Graziosi on one of his things was saying, don't waste your time and spend your time trying to get better at the things you're not good at, but develop and keep growing in where your giftedness is, because you'll go leaps and bounds in that same area, and you can have people come alongside you that can help you with the areas where you're not so good. So it's like being honest with ourselves and not beating up in any way, saying, well, I'm just not good at that. That's not the point. That's really, we do have those areas. And I think a lot of teaching in school, kids are saying, well, I'm terrible at spelling, I can't do this, or whatever that is. Then they try to spend so much time, and then they get so anxious. And it's hard when they're going against how they're made, I guess. I don't know if that's the best way to say it. So, but when you know that when you find those things that you're really good at and you develop those, man, it's like, who cares whether you can do this other thing so well? You're so excellent at, that gifting. So I think that's important. What about you, Lisa or Laura? Any input you want to throw in?
Well, just for me, you brought up the fact of mastering something, and I think that's very valid. If we've got our efforts spread out on everything, trying to master everything or be perfect to everybody in every category. But mastering one thing helps us to, one, be mindful to work towards something. But the other thing is that it allows us to relax as well and let somebody else be the master, like you said, in another category. Then you don't have to be that's part of the body of Christ, is that we all work together, and it's such a neat thing. I've noticed in our networking, there's like somebody who always has some skill somewhere and can answer the question when we're doing like masterminds and things like that. So I'm so grateful that there are people who have mastered things, especially the things I don't want to master. So.
Well, exactly. And we all have those things that we either don't want to, or like feel like it's a waste of time. It kind of goes back. We've had a discussion somewhere in these last few months about the fact that, if you bring other people along, you can then spend your time on the thing that you want to master. You can keep your focus there. Can I clean the house? Sure, I can. But do I really want to? Is that the best use of my time? And so is it better to, work your business to have more income in, so then you can pay somebody else to clean the house, which is what you don't want to do anyway. That's just a little minor thing. But then you can focus on the skills that you want to master, or the things that you're really, really good at. What about you, Laura?
I apologize. My internet is a little shaky. So if I cut off, just let me know, or I'll just keep talking. I find the value in what Kathleen and what everybody's saying with, delegating to others to do things that either you don't want or you're not gifted in. But I also look at mastery as a challenge on those things that you may not be good at yet. I look at everything that way. So I'm an A personality. I bowl through everything head down. I'm going to beat this. you know, and that actually sometimes, you know, gets me in trouble. But it's also a maturity and a learning curve to be able to, like you guys are saying, to give away those things that you really know that you're not good at. Though I tend to lean towards the challenge of it because I look at everything as a learning experience. So.
Right. And I think that's a valid point as well, because there are certain things, well, let's all just face it. In our day to day, we all have to know how to use the internet. We have to learn. We do have to have the skills of going on these live streams. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about. Like there's things that we may not like to do or whatever, but because we need to in our business, we do. And I think it's important to have those things that we want to learn as well. I agree with that as well.
Yeah, I definitely think that we need, you know, like I said, we're learning beings. We're always going to learn, you know, from the day we're born, you know, to the day we die, we're learning, you know, new things. And it's definitely important. But also part of like, you know, when you were saying like, oh, you charge, like it's important to remember, you know, like when anybody learns anything, if it's walking or learning how to write, or it's, you know, using the internet to do something in your business, there's still a learning curve. Like you were saying, you can't just all of a sudden master. And a lot of times, you know, I also have a teaching background. And a lot of times, you know, with teaching, you realize that when you teach someone a new skill, they might kind of set back another skill that they're good at to actually focus and learn on the new skill, right? And so a lot of times, you know, we might like start to learn something and then it kind of seems like, oh, we're not really getting anywhere. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, you learned, you know, this new piece and you realize you've gotten so much better. But it's the practice of it and continuing to do, you know, like if it's, like I said, writing, you know, your letters and learning, you know, as a young child, practicing that over and over. And that's the same even in an adult, right? Like we have to continue to practice just for the practice of it, right? Like to continue to learn that craft. And so whether it is something that you're naturally good at, or it is something that you're challenging yourself, you know, like Dr. Laura was talking about, you know, either way, you still have to continue to practice and continue that skill until it becomes more automated.
And that's when it gets easy, is when you made that shift from the being hard to then it's kind of just becomes part of who you are and your natural, that you do naturally. What seems naturally, but it didn't start that way, right? It started being hard because we didn't know how to do it. The whole learning curve.
Like even something like learning how to drive, right? Like maybe at first it was scary and, you know, different, but then now, you know, most people can jump in their car and go somewhere because, you know, they've learned how to do it.
So since that's a word that's important to you, and who was the author of the book? You said it fast, I didn't get it.
Yeah, I'm hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, but George Leonard. And I'll show it again in case anyone. This one was just one that I liked. I know there's, you know, other books on mastery, but like I said, this was something that I connected with when I was probably 19 or 20. So.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now I love getting book recommendations. I don't get them all read as quickly as I would like, but I like having them when I'm looking for something new to try. I read a book recently that I'm going to give a shout out. He wouldn't be listening to the show, but it's he's here in Las Vegas and he runs a thing called Stage Time University for aspiring speakers that have been around a while. So anyway, I'm part of his group, and he wrote a book called 17 Minutes to a Dream, and it's really excellent. And the thing is, you know, like so many things, is there anything new under the sun? No. But, you know, when he compiles his information and he's talking about not just having a goal, but like when you have a dream, and he says, if you will just time yourself, you know, and part of it's mastering ourselves. Isn't that the hardest mastery there is mastering our own self for our own time? And it says 17 minutes, just set the timer to work on whatever your dream is, that next step of what you want. And he challenges you to track it and stuff. And I really believe that he is spot on with that. Whatever number, you could pick whatever number, but if you say half an hour, often you're going to say to yourself, oh, I just don't have a half an hour for that. But in most anything, it's like, okay, 17 minutes, of course I could do 17 minutes, right? And so I thought, okay, so I haven't, I think I already do more than 17 minutes towards what I'm working on. But I thought, well, that's a pretty easy form. And I think that again would help master whatever that is that you're wanting to, that skill that you're wanting to master. And so then I thought, well, let's see, 17 minutes of my spiritual life of like doing devotional, you know, 17 minutes of moving my body for the day, you know, like get out of the house and take a walk. That I think there's something about the little pieces of it. That's probably a whole new different subject, but that's what's coming out.
Well, I would like to segue us off the path slightly.
Okay.
The mastery piece. What is your expectation? You know, you're talking about, you know, and I'm laughing to myself. My husband is a Toastmaster. It's very structured. Their meetings are extremely structured. I went to one meeting and it drove me nuts because everything was 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes there, you know. Now, my challenge would be to get through that, but it was just too much. But my expectation, you know, did not match the goal, basically, you know. So I think that also ties into mastering things too, because we can also push ourselves off of a goal or trying to master something because of what's between our ears.
Very true. I see you shaking your head, Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of the expectations as controlling mastery, but that's a very good point. That setting up an expectation, but I think that's also kind of goes in with the fact that mastery sometimes takes getting a coach or somebody above you to help you to get through those things, and to know that pathway so that you can get rid of some of the things that hold us back in terms of what we're trying to learn. Plus the fact that somebody who's already mastered something can help us know all pitfalls and get us there, you know, pretty good.
Absolutely. So Kathleen, since I know that that's something you work in a lot, what are some ideas that you can share as to how someone can begin to master something that they really want in their life?
Yeah. Well, I think like I was saying earlier, it's not so much that like we maybe ever get to that like level that we can always continuously learn and grow. So even if it's something that is natural to you or not, you can still practice, you know, so taking the time, and whether it's structured, like, you know, Delinda was saying, or, you know, Dr. Laura doesn't like that structure. But I think, you know, as long as you're somehow putting that into your schedule, though, I think the you know, I've been coaching women for over 10 years. And one of the things is if they don't schedule it, then they tend not to do it. So even though, you know, I think of myself like I like variety. I think like I kind of, you know, make changes, you know, as how I feel and things like that. But I find the more structured that I am, especially like with a morning routine, I put writing as most important to me. So now I'm putting that in the morning when I first wake up so that I know that I'm using, you know, my greatest gift there, and practicing that every morning. The more routine I am, though, like putting that and then my workout and, you know, things that are most important to me in the morning is more structured, but then it gives me more free time later. And I feel like, oh, I've accomplished these things that are most important to me. And I've created it into, you know, into habit to do that, you know, each day. And then things change, right? Though, like, you know, I just went through a move. So then having to set up new systems and things like that, you have to constantly check in on, you know, what has changed in your life and making sure that you're, you know, adapting to that. So, you know, it doesn't mean like just because you put in that routine that you're always going to do it forever. You know, life changes, your job might change, your, you know, environment might change, your relationship might change, you know, so you have to adjust with that. But for me, like I said, especially not just myself, but also, you know, the clients that I've worked with, you know, if it's not on their calendar, if it's not, you know, scheduled in priority, then a lot of times it gets pushed aside for whatever may come along. Or, you know, people say life gets in the way. Well, it's your life. How could your life get in the way of your life? Right. Like, so, you know, you're making that choice, you know, and so you have to choose to prioritize what's most important to you and to schedule it just like you would, you know, a doctor's appointment appointment or a lunch or, whatever it is. And so I think it's really important, but you can still do it in a fun way. Like it doesn't have to be a boring structure. If you're choosing what you want, it should be fun and something that you look forward to, just from my experience.
Yeah, those are great points, which actually leads right into what Lisa is. One of the things Lisa is a master at is the time management, priority management kind of thing. She has a class on that, which she's going to be teaching, by the way, next Wednesday. This Wednesday, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
I feel like, how can we already be at the 6th of September? So yeah, for the Wow Wednesday, Lisa's going to be teaching on, well, you tell them, Lisa, you fill them in a little bit of what you're going to be teaching on tomorrow.
Just it goes along with what she was saying, which is valuation, which is my word for how values drive our time management. And we are not conscious about it most of the time, that it is indeed our values. And so I use a lot of different things that we go through to talk about how, yes, you can make a choice, and you always do, based on valuation. So we're going to dig into that with a fun story too. So.
Yeah, and it's really excellent. So any of y'all, all of y'all may join us 11 o'clock Pacific time. So 11 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow is when it is. I keep thinking we have a couple days till Wednesday, but no, tomorrow is Wednesday. And I look forward to hearing it again because it made a difference to me. I still do and think about the things that Lisa taught when I first heard her teach this. So you will be blessed if you come and join us for that class. So Kathleen, tell us now. So you've alluded to and mentioned that you are a coach. So tell us a little bit about what you do, and you can put. I'm not sure. Can you type into the comments or tell me what link would you like to put in there? So how can people get a hold of you? So tell us what you do and how they can get a hold of you.
Yes. Well, as I mentioned, I coach women. I coach women specifically in career transition and help them to find their natural gifts, their core values, and their life purpose. Lisa just mentioned the value part. A lot of times people don't even know what they value and what's most important to them. So it's really hard to make those decisions. And so that's the biggest thing that has helped me to help women, is when they know their values, they can make better decisions, specifically in relation to their career, what they want to do. So overall, I'm helping them to build confidence in themselves, to really, know who they are, accept who they are, and then share that with others. Because as we mentioned, everyone's not good at the same things. And so really helping them to focus on, their gifts and sharing those with other people, because I believe that's what we're meant to do, is use our gifts to help others. I was not able to type in the comments. My website is KathleenWoodhouse.com. There's a place on there that you can connect, and I do send a weekly email, just kind of updating things that I'm going through and connecting, and then any events and things like that will be also there. And then I do have a YouTube channel, but the link, it is Kathleen Woodhouse, but I wish I could share that link with you, but I can't put it in there. So
after the show, you can go back in and put it down in the, thank you, Kathy. But you could go back in and put any links that you actually want to give people so they can find you and follow up with you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
So, yeah, that would be great. Thanks, Kathy, for putting that in there.
Yes, thank you, Kathy.
All right. So now, I remembered the wheel. You see, I'm learning new things all the time. And actually, my new thing, Lisa is going to laugh at me because yesterday I said, oh, Lisa, I'm so excited. I've never had this before. I have a separate monitor now. So separate monitor with its own camera. And then my laptop over there, I can't believe I can see so well. It's like, oh my gosh, why have I been looking at all this tiny print all the time? Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've tried to get her to get 2 monitors, and now eventually I'll work her up to 3 or 4 like I have.
Oh my goodness. Well, that would take up my whole room. But it's not out of the realm. Bill's been trying to get me to do this at least 5 years. It's like, oh, I don't need that. I love my laptop. I'm perfectly happy. I don't need anything more. And he finally the other day said, okay, he just brought it in here and said, hook this up. So he did it. Like, whoa, so nice. So Anyway, so that's that. This is Kathleen. I'm doing different, so I haven't ever done it just off of a mantra before. So we are going to do the wheel. So what happens is, for those of you who might be new to us this morning, is when you make comments in the chat box, then your name goes into the drawing for free prizes or whatever we have to give. And this month we'll be doing, again, 2 Starbucks gift cards to 2 lucky winners. And the people on the wheel are the ones that made comments in the month of August. So we draw it the following month. So I'm going to get over here to my screen share. And Kathy also very proud of me because she had to show me how to do this in the first place. All right, so now, there it is. That's very cool, isn't it? Aha. All right, so here we go. We are going to see who is our first winner. And I'm going to also see, I've got to figure that out. Now, I'm clicking it on the one side, so I probably have to go over here to click. Oh, there it goes. Woohoo! Let's see who's going to be our first winner.
Oh.
Okay, Michelle McMiller. So, yay! Very good. I better write this down. Okay, we're going to pick one more. Michelle is here in Las Vegas. She comes to our Fun Fearless in-person lunches. And let's see. Now, and we're going to go one more time. Ready, set, go. All right, Dr. Denise. I think these are both two ladies that haven't ever won before. So that's pretty fun. And stop screen. There we go. So we're back. So I just think that's the coolest little wheel, how that works. So
That was very cool. And she's learning to master these things.
I'm getting better all the time, right? And, all right. So excellent. And Kathy already put that one in there. All right. Any last comments, you guys? Who has one? So let's start with Lisa and Laura first, and then Kathleen, I'll have you finish up. Any last comments for the morning that you want to share with anybody, either on the word or whatever last thoughts?
Well, I just would like to say Kathleen looks too young to have been coaching for 10 years, but obviously she started early on her mastery.
I did, but I'm 42.
Yeah, well, you look good. So I was thinking like 19. So no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, the thing is that I love that she picked mastery, and I think everybody should pick just one step to do on something that they want to master. And like you said, Delinda, maybe take 17 minutes and start working on it. I think that's a great challenge for the week. So.
Great, thank you. And the thing is, when you're doing it, often you will spend more than that, but it's a mental thing. We'd have to ask Lynn, our neuro expert, as to why that works. But the time's small enough to think, oh, gee, that's easy. I can do 17 minutes on anything. And it's where we set our mind up for. So that's why I think it's kind of a brilliant thing on that. So what about you, Laura?
Well, I won't be setting the timer for 17 minutes, but no, I think this was great. No, I'll just get to it.
She'll set it for 18 minutes just to be rebellious.
Yeah, I'll just to spite you.
Yeah,
in 5 seconds. Yeah. No, I think this was a great discussion, and it brings to the forefront, how we can. What sticks out for me is the giving away the things we know we're not good at, and not, burning ourselves up on trying. Like I said, I put my head down and go for it. There are times when I realize, like, oh, I cannot master this. I guess I need help. And my lesson is going through that whole process and then realizing, and that's just my personality and the way I am. But this was a great discussion to learn and to, kind of reiterate that, like what Kathy said, we all are in it together, like what you said, Delinda, or everybody has said, and we can help each other. And that's the beauty of being Christians too. And also women business owners, because we all help each other. So this was great. Great word.
Yeah, I think it has been a great word. And so, Kathleen, last comments or thoughts you'd like to share with us? Again, thank you so much for being on today.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think the thing that just is coming to me is just, wherever you are in your life or your business, just even if you don't feel like you're making that progress, just to keep going, if it's something that you're natural at. Like for me, like I mentioned, writing is something I'm natural at, but it doesn't mean that I can't improve on it. But sometimes, it seems like there might be a challenge, but just to continue going and you will see the progress. But even if you spend, a minute each day, it doesn't have to be 17, but just continuing to put time into what it is you're trying to master, whether it's your business or exercise or whatever it may be, just continuing to put that time in and, be determined, and you will see the progress, even if it takes a little longer than you hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Great words there for sure. So want to thank all of you for being here again this morning. I've made note of everybody who's there and making comments, and we'll do our drawing. Congratulations to Dr. Denise and to Michelle as winners of the wheel this morning. And encourage y'all to keep coming back every Tuesday morning. We're here. We've been here I was telling Kathleen this morning, we're in our 5th year. I kind of just lose track of where we are. But it's amazing how just we come together and how we can encourage each other. And that's what the show is about. We want to always inspire you, encourage you, giving you one tip for the day that might make your life or business a little bit better every week. Because as Kathleen said earlier, and we've all alluded to as well, we are on a lifetime journey. We're learning until the day we die. And hopefully, because otherwise, first of all, you wouldn't even be on here if you weren't in that mode of wanting to learn and get better. So thank you for being here. And remember that life is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. I mean, like, hallelujah. Is that the most wonderful thing? We have so many choices in our lives. So life's a matter of choice. So go out and make it a great week. And think about what you want to master this week. All right. Put that on your list of working on. What skill are you working on, or what is it in your life? All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, ladies, for being here. Kathleen, why don't you hold on after we go off? And I look forward to seeing y'all every week. See you later.
Thank you, Delinda. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.